Yo, 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 what up, Mrs. U Nation, aka Savage Armor John Giraffe, coming at you with another prediction. So, today, Bushy Road announced that on the 14th of August, we're going to have a restriction list. We're going to have an update on it. And that's a little bit understandable. We got like 2 months of like the new formats of standard and premium, and then at the same time we're getting like a lot more new cars coming in. And basically it is August is usually the time where a lot of car games do their restriction list or ban list or whatever. We're expecting to see like at the end of August that Konami comes out with their ban list for Yu-Gi-Oh. I guess it's the same way for restriction lists. We basically got up to a point to where maybe we can see like a couple of restrictions, maybe some cards coming off the restriction list. Now, last time I did this, everything that I kind of sort of said almost came about. I think it was like a couple of things that I said that was going to happen and it actually did. But we've seen stuff happen that we normally didn't think about. Like I remember I said that they were going to put Otis Ripple to 4, Flash Ripple to 4, and they actually did. But then, like at the same time, I don't think anybody's seen the whole Jumpin' Jill Purple Trapeze thing, come intact. So that's a little bit understandable. We also didn't really see Commander Laurel actually going to 1. And the DP stuff haven't even been announced yet. So understandably, this could be something to where maybe something might actually come off the list and whatnot, and we might actually see some play, or we might actually see more stuff go on the list. Now, my predictions is basically stuff going on the list, so it's a little bit understandable. And I will admit, I think everything that I mentioned on the list should be going to 1, but at the same time, I could see Bushy Road putting them into 2. So without further ado, here we go. The first card on my list is Undotuary Sage Tarna. Now, basically, Tarna's on the list is because of how stupid Tarna is in premium. For some reason, this deleter set, what is it called? Like whatever the movie set is, where it has like Royal Paladins and deleters because the movie came out, is weird. When the set first came out, there was really nothing that good that came from the set, but all of a sudden, like we get like every once in a while we get a couple of cards that comes from that set that actually becomes very valuable because Bushy Road made said card, and then said card made it possible for one of the cards in that particular set to actually become very good. Tarna is one of those cards. Before this came about, we didn't really see a reason to like rewrite Alfred from the deck. Matter of fact, at the time when this card came out, nobody was even using an Alfred based deck like that. At most, you were using probably Secret Alfred, but that's about it. But anyway, but that's besides the point. The point is, we have like 2 Alfreds from the standards part of the show, and not to mention that both of those Alfreds have force markers when it goes onto the Vanguard circle. So basically, it becomes down to using a bunch of Tarnas, and every time you use a Tarna, you rewrite Alfred and you get a force marker. You can basically make it to where you can have 5 force markers in one turn if done correctly. If you have 4 Tarnas in hand, and basically if you have 4 Tarnas in hand and you ride into Alfred on your grade 3, guess what? All 4 Tarnas can go into the field and you'll have 4 different force markers. In my honest opinion, I think that's actually pretty stupid. Not to mention that it does take advantage of the game. So basically, every turn you're gonna have a full field where every single card on the field is gonna have like an extra 10k, which is stupid. Well, actually, almost everything. I forgot. There's gonna be like one slot open that's not going to get the 10k boost unless if you like once again ride. But anyway, that's basically besides the point. Now, a lot of things that a lot of people say is like, well, what if you don't have the Tarnas in hand? Well, you do have the grade 0 starter that allows you to search for like a grade 2 or less if you have an Alfred on a Vanguard circle, and unless if you're going against like something like Kagero or Gear Chronicle that can get rid of starters very early on in the game, then you're 9 times out of 10 going to be able to use that card. So at the end of the day, it really wouldn't make sense for you to be like, well, we do have this particular card and whatnot, so you're not necessarily going to see Tarna in hand all the time, when in reality, even though you won't see all 4 Tarnas in hand, you're eventually going to see like at least 1 or 2, and you're going to get more than 1 force marker onto the thing. And then another thing that comes into mind is like, well, if my opponent's at grade 3 and you're just getting on a grade 3, you're going to have to sacrifice a turn, a stride turn, in order for you to use it. And it's like, well, how is that a bad thing where all of your whole field is like pumped up by 10k with no triggers yet? So in my honest opinion, I feel like that second argument is kind of sort of invalid a little bit, but that's a little bit understandable. Now, I'm not saying that this particular combo is very impossible to do, but I mean, very possible to beat, not do. It is actually beatable. I've actually seen people get punished for using the combo, and I think that's actually pretty funny. That's probably why Tarna went down to like 13 cents again, compared to how it was a couple of months ago when Tarna was like a $5-6 card. But anyway, basically, it's not the fact that it's stoppable, it's basically the fact that it exists. That's the issue. So I can basically see Bushiroad putting Tarna down to 2, or if not, in my personal opinion, it should be put down to 1. So basically, if it goes into like, the damage zone, you can't use the combo at all. But anyway, off with that card, on to the next. The next one is Flamewing Lion Wonder Ezel. So basically, this is the exact same premise. Only difference is Gold Paladins and it's Ezel. Now, we haven't had a single announcement of a single card being spoiled for Gold Paladins. At the same time, nobody knows what this new Ezel is going to be doing. So, the fact that we have a card that is already going to predict how busted Gold Paladins is going to be, because let's be real, they're not using force triggers, they're not using force markers, they're using Excel markers. And I feel like that's worse, because remember, Gold Paladins is a clan that superior calls during the battle phase. And the fact that you can constantly superior call multiple units on a single circle where they're getting an extra 10k boost for free is actually pretty dumb, in my honest opinion. But that's just me for 1. 2, front triggers do exist, so that's double the trouble. And 3, again, we don't know how bad and busted Ezel really is going to be. So at the same time, we don't know if this combo is going to be a lot more busted than the Tarna combo, or is going to be dumbed down because we're only going to have 4 Ezels. We're going to only have like 1 Ezel with a Excel trigger, whereas in Royal Paladins we have 2 different Alfreds with force triggers. But at the same time, it's already a combo that's going to be predicted to be really stupid and really broken in premium, so why not hit it early on? If they hit, Pale Moon with that whole Jumpin' Jill Purple Trapeze thing early on, and they hit Commander Laurel before the DP stuff was even spoiled, then why not hit Wonder Ezel? At the most, I can probably see Wonder Ezel going down to like 1, I don't think Bushiroad will put it to 2, mainly because again, we're not knowing how busted this said combo was going to be, so I guess they won't probably take precautions per se. Last but not least, I have 2 more cards. They go twine with each other, and I guess everybody's already knows what I'm going to say. Stillwater Festival Deity Ikamishima and the V Series version of Silent Tom. In my personal opinion, I don't think that this combo is really worth doing because it's basically a one-time based combo, but I can actually see the reason why Bushiroad might actually put both of these cards in the hot seat. What I can see Bushiroad doing is 2 things. One, making Ikamishima put down to 1. 2, I can see Silent Tom having a Sword of Me treatment where you can't use the V Series Silent Tom in the same deck you're using Ikamishima. And the reason why I say this is because when Ikamishima and Silent Tom gets together, you are fucked. Because Ikamishima prevents you from using Grade Zeros and using G Guards, and Silent Tom basically prevents you from using any normal units. So basically, when Silent Tom attacks with the critical triggers being stacked onto it, because thanks to a fucking deer or whatever, or even multiple triggers, you're taking 4 or 5 damage for free almost. Now, yes, there is a couple of like clans that can basically get over this combo per se, but those clans aren't really worth running because at this particular time they are not very good against every other deck. It's just lucky that they have some type of response to this particular dumbass combo. But anyway, I feel like both of these cards definitely is going to get somewhat a hit on the restriction list. I do think they're in the hot seat, and it's a little bit understandable why. Now, before I end this video, I actually like to put a personal opinion on what I think should get hit on the restriction list, and that is every 10k trigger in premium. In my honest opinion, I feel like 10k triggers are busted in premium. And it's not the fact that, getting an extra 10k, in a format to where strides exist is a bad thing. I feel like the bad thing comes in to when not every clan has access to said triggers. And because of this, it makes it a lot harder for certain clans to actually just play in general. You're expecting everybody to use any of the clans that so far got support in standard, and this is mainly because it's a lot easier to get and it makes everything 10 times easier to use in premium, because guess what, you have a 10k boost whenever triggers hit. And yeah, you have a couple of decks here and there that has to use the old triggers, so yeah, you're probably going to have like a very small percentage of a 5k plus boost. Understandable, but at the same time, it makes it hard when, like, let's say I'm playing Grey Nature and I'm going against something like Kagero, and you have like Big Daddy fucking Ziegenberg hitting for like 46k with 2 fourth triggers on the Vanguard circle, possibly going up to like 76k or something like that, just to block, just to making a no pass. That's not fucking fun. And then like earlier I mentioned the whole combo with Tarna, that makes it definitely not fun either. And honestly, it makes it a lot harder for something like that to guard against, because even though Great Nature, they have the hand advantage, I feel like it's not enough. It's good hand advantage, but it's not hand advantage that can survive the standard stuff. The only way they're able to survive is if they get support of their own, which is understandable. And that's basically why I think, in my honest opinion, when it comes to the 10K triggers and premium, I feel like that they're way too overwhelming, especially against certain clans that's not going to get support for a very long time. Outside of that, that's all I gotta say. What do you guys think? What are your guys' predictions? Leave in the comment section below. My name is Savage Armor Jill Giraffa, aka Mrs. Zoo Nation, signing out.